Hey everyone!
Hello!
So, we just saw Midsommar yesterday.
Yesterday. Sorry.
So, today we're just going to talk about it.
Do you want to start first or should I?
Go ahead.
Well, this was our first movie we saw together. We went to the Regal Theater down in Newington. She's usually used to going down to the theater in Smitty's and Sanford, and she actually really liked going to that theater.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm saying you really liked going to the Regal Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chairs are way more comfortable than Smitty's. The screen is larger. The popcorn isn't as great. That's one thing Smitty's has over the Regal Theater.
Also, you were spared with the amount of previews they usually play beforehand, because they usually play a lot, so I don't know why they kind of cut back when we were seeing Midsommar.
Well, that's usually how many previews they show in Smitty's.
No, they show 3. Like, the Regal Theater showed, 6.
I thought Smitty's showed more.
Nope, they only show 3. Unless you're counting, the commercials they played beforehand and all
I count the commercials.
Oh, God. No, that's horrible. That shit's just white noise to me. But, we saw this, we saw Midsommar from the director of Hereditary, Ari Aster. This is his second film. He's actually done a bunch of short films before he started making full-blown movies. Would you ever watch Hereditary sometime after seeing this, or no?
I don't know. Okay, so real quick, this was the first movie I've seen from this guy. And somebody was scared.
Yeah, I was. You should have seen me in Hereditary, because I was reacting the same way, too.
You see, the situation is, I'm supposed to be the typical girl holding on to the guy.
It was the other way around here. I was just like...
And I will be putting that photo in this video.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
He was like that for 40 minutes.
Yeah, because the last 40 minutes of this movie are fucking insane. Literally. Should we put a spoiler warning for what we're about to say?
Yeah, if any of you don't like spoilers, turn this off right now, because there will be plenty of spoilers.
Short version, this is a really good horror movie. It's definitely not for all tastes.
Now the longer version with spoilers.
Yes. So, this is a horror movie about what it's like to be in a shitty relationship and how to get out of it.
Pretty much, and there's a whole bunch of rituals involved, like... When you're 72, you die.
Yeah. Well, it's because...
You don't just die, either. You jump off a cliff onto a giant boulder and smash your face. And if you live, they smash your head in.
4 times. Because 4 people come over there, they swap the hammer with each other and just black.
Yes. 2 men and 2 women.
and on top of that, it's like they actually explain how the age cycle works, where it's like they explain
from this age to that age, you're in this spot.
Yeah.
And from this age to that age, which after 32, they move to 32 to 72. And then at 72, you die.
Yeah.
You're sacrificed.
Yeah. What this movie is about is that it's about 2 people, a man and a woman, Danny and Christian, played by Florence Pugh and Jack Rayner, who are in a rough relationship. Things aren't going so well for them. And then a family tragedy hits Danny. That opening was horrible.
It's got death in it from start to finish.
Yeah.
Her sister kills her parents and herself.
With this, contraption of, hooking, the exhaust tubes from both of their cars.
With, water hoses.
Yeah.
And she tapes one hose to the bedroom door of her parents.
And she tapes the other one right to her mouth. And the camera does a close-up of it where we're seeing, one of her eyes swollen and, veins popping out of her skin.
Yeah.
And it was just, ugh. And then, it cuts between that to Danny screaming.
On the phone to Christian.
Yeah.
And then you see him feeling bad for wanting to break up with her because he's been wanting to do that for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been together for, 3 years, they said?
Yeah, it was 3 years.
And he just doesn't break up with her throughout this whole thing.
Yeah. Cut to, a month later. And it's
I
like
think so.
They go on a vacation when one of their buddies says, "Hey, I'm going to this, this little thing with my family, friends."
Yeah, let's go to Sweden.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to go to Sweden? It looks beautiful there.
Yes, don't go.
Hey, all those people were nice. Sure, they had some funny rituals here and there, but they were all smiling and happy and supportive.
But if you cross them, oh my god.
Oh man, like what happened to that, that stoner douchebag guy?
Mark.
Yeah, played by Will Poulter. Like he's just
the guy that looks like Sid from Toy Story. He's literally the live version of him.
He was actually in one of the Maze Runner movies.
I know.
Yeah, and
I know. I have the Maze Runner series.
Yeah, and he was also in The Revenant.
But anyways, his death was gruesome. They don't show it.
They only show him disappear, and then he comes back, but it's not actually him. It's somebody wearing his skin.
Yeah, he runs off to go
meet with some chick.
And that's the nice way to put it.
Yeah, we don't see what happens to him.
And then you just don't see him until what's that other guy's name that?
The black dude. I forgot what his name was. It Jack?
Jack or Josh?
I think it was Jack.
One of those.
Yeah.
He goes to
go
against their rules and take pictures of their ancient books
that have these drawings created by this kid who's like a byproduct of incest.
Yeah, but what they do is they take his pictures and they transform them into actual ritual songs.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to take pictures of that book.
And they whack him upside the head with that mallet.
Hang on.
Okay.
He sees...
Good morning.
Hi.
He sees what looks like his friend, Mark. But it's not him. And all you see is, like, the figure of Mark of what he was wearing. His shirt, his pants. But you see a blood stain on his crotch.
Mm-hmm.
Which indicates they cut off...
his dick, too, before they did everything else.
And then you see that they skinned his entire face right off of his body and put it on somebody else's. And then he's hit over the head. Yeah,
and then they just drag him off and you see this pool of blood, like, as soon as they were done. And what about that poor British couple?
They didn't do anything!
Like, the other characters in this movie deserve it, but they didn't do a single goddamn thing!
They only freaked out when the two 72-year-olds jumped off a cliff. Well, actually, when the first one did.
Yeah.
And then they flipped out even more
when the second one didn't die and
they were bashing his head in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, amongst all this crazy stuff that's going on, the lead chick, Danny, she's like, at first she's horrified like everyone else, but then she starts learning to go with the flow.
And she's having panic attacks like crazy because of what happened with her mother, father, and her sister. And they just keep her drugged up.
Yeah.
And drugged up.
Yeah.
And she's helping out in the kitchen. Then she takes part in the Maiden Festival. Is that portion of it?
Yeah. Where it's like they do this like dance, which that was the point in the movie where I was starting to get panicky.
They pretty much dance until there's one person left.
And she's the final one. And they're like, here's our new May Queen!
And that's when crap gets real.
She's asking about the cereal.
Should I throw it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like right around the time when she's got crowned as May Queen, that's when just the movie just starts like going off the fucking rails.
So, back to where I said that Christian did not break up with her at all throughout this entire movie.
That scene!
It comes to this part after she's crowned the May Queen. She comes back from doing her duties as blessing the crops and the harvest and the animals, and she hears this
moaning coming from the next...
Singing/moaning.
Yeah.
Coming from a building that she's right next to.
Yeah.
And she goes over there, but she's told not to.
She does it anyway.
Yeah.
And she sees her boyfriend fucking this, like, redhead who's been eyeballing him throughout the whole movie. She puts a love spell on him, which they show in this big drawing earlier at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, Danny has these really creepy drawings and paintings on her wall. But what's really creepy about this is there's like a half circle full of women that are naked.
They're all
swaying back and forth and then grabbing their boobs while they're singing and moaning this song. One of them comes down beside them, holds the girl's hand, and looks Christian in the eye. While the other one...
This old lady who's got rotting teeth and long hair, and she's kind of, like, comes up behind his ass and just keeps pushing. Like, just...
It's so weird. And the even weirder part is it turns him on more.
And another thing is that not long afterwards, she ends up getting instantly pregnant because of that.
Well, she kind of curls up and rocks a little bit and says that she can feel the baby.
Yeah. Danny sees all of this and understandably freaks out, runs into like one of the next barns.
And then the group of girls that were with her while she was blessing everything, they all get into this
wailing,
screaming group.
Yeah.
Where when she's having her panic attack, they're having a panic attack with her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, in that sense, they're saying to her, "You're not alone, we're here for you." And then...
Yeah, then... Man, just trying to describe this ending is just so bizarre.
Christian runs off.
Yeah, completely stark naked. He's like, he's like hiding his wiener.
He didn't think until after, like, a good minute to cover up. And he goes into the chicken coop finally.
And he finds one of the tourists, the British guy,
yeah, with
his lungs ripped out, but they're still breathing.
The guy's still alive.
And he's got flowers for eyes.
His spine and his ribs were just cut and flared out, and then his lungs are pinned up and out of his body, and you can see them moving. And he's got flowers over his eyes.
And then afterwards, one of the cultists come in, just blows right in his face, and it conks him right out.
There goes Christian.
Yeah. And
down for the count.
Then we finally get to the ending where, it's like, he's like put in a bear suit.
Oh, God.
And then...
First, you see the really creepy part where she has to actually pick the last two out of the last two people which one goes.
Oh, she did that? I thought that was already pre-selected.
No.
Okay.
It was Christian and one other guy. And you could see the two old people that gave their lives.
Oh, yeah, they make little monuments out of them.
Ugh, they put branches out of them.
They burnt the corpses
out of them.
No, they burnt the corpses earlier. You stepped out of that scene where they took the corpses and cremated them.
No, I saw that scene.
Oh, I thought you stepped out during that scene.
They cut the limbs off and burnt those so that they could use the head, the neck, and the torso.
I swear I saw that
as a decoration for when they're picking out the final one.
Okay, well, anyway.
And with the betrayal, Danny's just in this daze.
She's in a friggin' trance, man, with all the drugs she's on.
And then you find them cutting up a bear that they had in a cage.
Mm-hmm. And then they put Christian in that bear suit while he's horribly
paralyzed.
Drugged. Yeah, like there's this we get that close-up shot of that lady, and it's like, "Hi, you can't move, you can't speak, but it's okay."
And then they put the skin of Mark on a scarecrow and set him up inside.
Not only that, but they put a jester's hat on it too.
Yeah. And they put it inside this yellow triangle building with all the other corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally set them up in a specific gown.
Mm-hmm.
And then they burn them.
And it's like everyone
And two of them are alive.
Yeah, they're heavily drugged.
They're the volunteers. No, they're not.
Well, they were initially drugged, but then the fire kicks in and then...
No, that was to numb the pain.
Oh, that didn't work.
No, it didn't.
And then it's like, as all the cultists are, moaning and screaming at the fire, we're just seeing Danny, like, just her face, just like...
She was crying for a minute.
And then it just becomes the brightest smile imaginable.
And she gets a new beginning.
Yeah, she's all covered in flowers, too. Like, it's like... this is... I've noticed this lately with some horror films I've seen, where it's like, I've seen some people say, oh, that's a downer ending, that's like a bad ending, yada yada. I'm like, no, that's a happy ending. That's a good ending. She got, the reason, as I said, the reason why I was panicking towards the end was not because of, like...
Which I'm gonna cut and show that.
Yeah. So yeah, as you saw in those pictures, I was clinging onto her to dear life in that scene. It's like, I wasn't doing it because I was afraid what was happening to him. Fuck that dude. I was just, I was freaked out what was happening to her. Because all that stuff that was it just felt like a mountain. It just kept on piling and piling on top of her. And it's like...
Yeah.
Like...
How could she deal with all of that?
Yeah! Who would want to deal with all of that? Nobody! Nobody in their right fucking mind would want to deal with
Ignore
something.
the dog. He's just eating what's on the floor.
Alright. Yeah, I know that's what dogs do.
But while he's freaking out to the entire thing, I'm just there looking at him like,
you're
okay.
so cute like this.
Yeah, you're cute when you're scared.
and on top of that, the audio... Oh.
Typically, he's the one to watch everybody else's reaction.
Mm-hmm. But that's only with movies I've already seen. If it's with something I haven't seen, my attention's usually on the movie.
And he was the only guy out of a total of 4 women. That
theater was empty for the most part.
There were 3 other people beside us.
Yeah.
And they were all women.
Yeah.
The only guy.
Yeah, yeah.
The only one shaken. And could not move his legs by the time the movie was over.
I will fully admit that. Because, as I said, the director's previous movie, Hereditary, did the same thing to me when I first saw it. Like, it was honestly, the stuff that happened at the end of that movie was a little more extreme than what happened here. Of course, your mileage may vary. But, between this and Hereditary, this guy, Ari Aster, he's talented as fuck.
Hi, Kane.
Hi, boy. How you doing? Yep, this is our dog, Kane. He's a great dog. Hi. Hi. See? Look at him. Oh. See? There he is. Isn't he cute?
Kane, what you doing?
He's just being a curious boy.
Alright.
One of the things you said...
Hey, leave that alone.
One of the things you said early on in the movie, you took, a good eye to, some of the camera shots in it. Remember that upside-down shot early on?
Oh, yeah. There's this one shot at the very beginning when they're on their way to Sweden, where they flip...
The camera
right upside down, and they're using a drone to do that. Because there's no possible way they can have a human up there doing it.
They can do stuff like that, or it's like they mount the camera on a car, maybe they put it upside down.
But with the way they had it, they literally showed it as it was turning.
You can look up videos of these kind of devices that they use, where it's like they spin the camera around, it's on an automated kind of thing.
But anyways, with how it looked, it kind of looked like there was a river.
Yeah.
The sky was the river, and the road was just the banking.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of...
He literally had to twist his head to look.
Well, I twisted my head so that I could read what the sign said, because it's like...
Oh.
Yeah, that...
It looked like you were trying to figure out, does that really look like a river?
No, it wasn't that. I was just trying to see what the sign said that was, like, hanging right there. But yeah, a lot of the cinematography in this thing's gorgeous. Like, the color, and, like, just how beautiful, bright, and sunny everything is.
And all the pictures on the wall of that one lady's house.
In the barn at the village or in Danny's house?
No, when in the village when the old lady goes to say that one girl wants to mate with him.
Oh God, those drawings.
But then there's also another drawing that they show within this. It's so weird.
Which one is it? Because
the one about the hypnotizer.
Well, that wasn't inside the house. That was outside.
I know.
And that was foreshadowing to what would happen later.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was weird. It was another drawing.
Yeah.
But it was really weird. It showed a woman in love with someone, and she dreamt of that guy being in love with her. Mm-hmm. And then it shows...
her putting her pubic hair in a pie? And...
No. Showing her taking scissors down there.
Yeah.
And making herself bleed into a cup and then putting it in a pie.
Yeah.
Not just pubic hair, either. That's what happened to Christian. He got a pubic hair in his.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy falls in love with her, and they get married.
Yeah, we see, like, the spiral eyes in his eyes and everything.
Because he's hypnotized.
Yeah. And what about the, man, there's so much freaky stuff in this movie. It's kind of fun to talk about.
It's a really weird but interesting movie.
Yeah. There was, I'm trying to think, or what about all those rooms they had? Like, remember the graves? On the cliff where the old people jumped?
I think those might not have been graves. They might have just been ruins.
Ruins.
Because they had this one tree where they burn their ancestors and then they sprinkle the ashes on it and around it. And Mark...
the stoner dude pisses on them.
And that's what pissed him off to make him kill him. That's why he died.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just that one guy's ancestors, it was everybody's.
And he makes a crack about incest about it, like, you incestual fucking weirdos or something. Which, technically, he's not entirely off base, because we learned that the kid who's making the drawings
They deliberately make people have incest. Just so that when one dies, they have another to take their place.
Yeah. They view it as like a form of purity, so to speak, because it's like they say that their thoughts are like uncorrupted.
Yeah. And they're an open vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Which
reminds me, I kind of wish we saw more of that deformed kid.
Well, you probably didn't notice one part, but when Christian was being pushed...
He was there?
No.
Oh.
They switched to a scene with that little boy.
Oh, they did?
And he was listening to everything happen. And
wait a minute.
He had the look of, why couldn't that have been me?
Aw.
That's the look that he had on his face.
Oh, poor kid. But, also some other things I want to get off about this movie. Performances are great.
Very convincing.
Everyone's super good, and especially the lead girl, Florence Pugh. I've heard this is like her breakout year because she's been showing up in a lot of different things lately. This is kind of like, I think this is like her, actually no, this is like her second movie she's like a leading role in.
Well, she's really good, and she's only going to get better.
Fuck yeah. Hell, even the guys who play her her douchebag boyfriend and friends are also really good too.
Well, the guy that plays Mark,
Will Poulter,
he's been in a lot of stuff already.
Yeah.
He's been in Maze Runner. He's been in
The Revenant, Detroit. He was actually going to play Pennywise.
But he's already been in so many, so there's no wonder why he's that good now.
And the guy who played the boyfriend, Jack Reiner, apparently he's been in a couple of things, but
I've never seen him.
I think he was actually in Maleficent, I think.
He might have been.
I need to look him up, but it's like, I know I've seen that name before. But yeah, like, everybody's really good, you know, like, and also something I was happy that the movie did. I was afraid that they weren't going to do this, but it's like when the character spoke in Swedish, they actually provided subtitles. That was...
He loves his subtitles. I have to tell him on my own movies, no subtitles.
But when we're watching my movies, there are subtitles, so...
Different house, different rules. No subtitles. Which is gonna suck for him when he moves in.
But we are going to be watching foreign films that do require subtitles.
Okay.
Okay, good.
If they require subtitles, okay.
Okay, good.
But if they're a normal movie that doesn't require them...
Well, when you're gone or out of the house, I'm going to watch movies with my fucking subtitles.
Just make sure you turn it back so that I don't have to suffer with subtitles.
Oh, man. I would say, like, you know, I've got a couple of complaints about this movie. Like, were you bothered by the running time?
No.
Oh, I kind of was, but maybe that might disappear on a second viewing, because, like, I had a similar issue with Hereditary, where I was watching it, I was kind of like, man, this is taking a while for things to kind of get going, but then when...
But that's, like, the same with almost every single show or movie.
True.
I mean, yes, there are some that...
just go by fast, like, you're just like, whoa.
But the best thing about these types of movies is they go by so slow that you can actually take it in and
kind of feel what the characters are feeling, too.
Yeah, and you enjoy it more.
And there was also some moments where I know you were kind of laughing. Like, during the mating ritual scene, when the ladies were rubbing their breasts and shit.
Yeah. It was just...
so bizarre that it's like...
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I know apparently Oster said that, you know, like, if you laugh at this movie, it's okay. So... And
apparently this was all about his breakup.
Yeah, he said that after he wrote Hereditary, some producers came to him and said, hey, can you make a horror movie set in Sweden? And he was like, okay. And while he was writing it, he was going through a bad breakup.
And it shows.
Wow!
What was one of those comments that you read about it?
Oh, yeah.
With the husband and wife.
There was this one review I saw on Letterboxd where this guy said he was in a screening of it, but he liked the movie too. And he said there was a couple behind him that said, you know, the male was like, you know, like, well, he didn't deserve that. And then the wife said...
You're one to talk.
Yeah, and they, you know, like, just like, he said there was just an incredibly awkward silence in the theater after they said that. And he also said this movie's gonna destroy a lot of relationships.
Yeah, because it really makes you think. I mean, attractive men are attractive, but...
they need to be a decent person.
They have to have a good personality and a moral compass to go with their looks. Like this guy.
Hi.
Look at him. He's handsome. He's kind. He's sweet.
I paid for our tickets.
Yeah. And the popcorn. But he's not a dick. He's a nice guy. He's got a great moral compass. You need more guys like him, not like Christian.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Guys like that are so weird, and it makes you want to do what Danny had the ability to do.
Yeah, it almost kind of makes me wonder, you know, you said this.
I definitely have an ex that... I actually was in Danny's place, only I didn't do drugs. I had an ex that cheated on me, and I wished so bad after I found out that he cheated on me that I could put him in a bear suit.
And burn him alive.
And I'm pretty sure that there are dozens and dozens of other women that would say the same thing about one of their exes, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the type of
Oh,
person...
cool.
We're doing a video.
Can you take the battery and the wrenches out with her trunk?
Yeah, in a minute.
They're in the front seat.
Yeah.
Front floor.
Yeah, we'll do it after we're done.
Okay.
Well, I'm the type of person to get along with 99% of my exes.
But some of the ones you've told me about... Ooh.
One of them was the worst, and he's the one that I told never to contact me again. But then there's others where I get along with them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't hear from them. And that's fine with me.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, I don't care if I hear from them. If they want to talk to me, they can. I'm right here. I'm not going to turn them away unless they completely destroy my trust. Which, that's what that one ex did. And cheating on your girlfriend is one way to really completely destroy your trust.
Or, in other words, maybe a bit more dramatic here, completely fucking annihilated.
Yes.
Also, there was another thing I also wanted to say about the movie. Did you... Oh, wait, I think I already told you about... Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. There was something you said, we were kind of discussing, like when Oster said that he wrote this while he was in a bad relationship. Thank you. Mm. Do you think...
Aroma Joe's Frojo. Good.
Do you think... we were kind of having a discussion. Did Oster view himself as the boyfriend? Or as the girlfriend? Or both? Or what?
Oh boy. That's hard to tell.
I know.
You would think automatically that he would associate with the guy.
But he shows such understanding for the girlfriend.
Yes. So there's a pretty good chance that in his situation, he was Danny.
Yeah, or maybe he was Christian, but, maybe he was...
But the role was reversed.
Yeah.
It was Danny that did it.
Yeah. So
there's a couple different possibilities.
Yeah.
I would think more like he's Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Just from how this whole entire movie is viewed.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from her point of view.
Yeah, it's totally her story from beginning to end.
Yeah. So it makes you think, was there a major death in his family, and then shit just got real?
He said that when he wrote Hereditary,
Mm-hmm.
he based it off of a I think it was like something like between 2 to 4 year span of just bad luck that just constantly kept on hitting his family. Like it was just like dominoes. So
Yeah, he's Danny. He's Danny in this situation. He's the one that was cheated on. Wow, he's having a really bad stroke of...
Hey, he's having a really good stroke of good luck right now between the 2 movies he's making.
Well, yeah, but that's through his own tragedy.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what makes the best videos or best movies is tragedy.
Absolutely.
For some reason.
Yeah. I would definitely say Midsommar, between Hereditary and Midsommar is definitely the happier movie. If you saw Hereditary and the way that ends, like...
Well, Midsommar seems like the happier one because everybody's nice, and it's always sunny,
Mm-hmm.
and always filled with flowers.
Whereas Hereditary is just like, a lot of it's cloaked in shadow, everyone's miserable, like...
So you can see a drastic change between the two.
Whoa! They're still both fucked up movies.
And I've never seen Hereditary.
Would you want to see it now after seeing this? Or?
I don't know. Right now I'm trying to determine whether or not you gave me poison sumac.
Oh god. Yeah, when I cut through to the theater, there was like this little pathway.
And I think you might have.
Oh no. Oh god.
He passes through this one spot. Well, actually, you would have gotten it by now.
But I don't feel anything, so...
Because your mom did tell me you had a really bad reaction to poison sumac and poison ivy.
Huh. I don't remember the poison sumac.
Where it was blistering to the point
I remember the poison ivy, but...
To where it was bleeding.
Yeah.
That was sumac.
Oh, that was sumac? Shit, I thought it was just poison ivy.
And no, it just got so bad because
Okay.
you were in it so much.
Okay.
But there's this one spot he showed me where there's a little path you can go through to get
into the
theater faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I pointed out, oh, you mean that path right in between the poison sumac? And he was wearing shorts. And then I told him not to touch me.
But I can't help it.
But on the bus, you're so close together. I might have poison sumac now.
Shit. But we also got the trailers for the movies we got in front of this. There was a good variety. A lot of there was a trailer for The Farewell where you were that looks like a good movie that I don't want to see.
It's too sad. It's about a family that's got their grandmother dying from cancer and they don't want to tell her, but it's really hurting this one girl. Because
it's family tradition. Not family tradition, cultural tradition, because it's a Chinese family.
Yeah. To not tell them that they're dying, so that they live happier and without knowing.
And then one of the other trailers we got was for It Chapter 2, which you
not doing it.
You still need... I want to show you the first thing. It's fun. It's a fun horror movie.
Not doing it.
All right. And
then there's Good Boys,
which looks like fun. I heard it premiered at a couple of festivals. Reviews were pretty solid for it.
Yeah, and they were being very
rowdy.
Yes.
that does
they
look
show
cute.
That one of the boys puts a giant bottle of beer in his pants and pretends it's his dick.
Yeah, it looks like fun. And that's the Green Band trailer. That's not the Red Band where they're actually allowed to show the rough stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
And then they showed a trailer for Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which
is going to be the sequel to the original Maleficent.
Which I liked the original Maleficent,
and we're gonna see it.
Okay, all right. Because I liked the original Maleficent, but something about the way this looks to me looks a little bit iffy.
It looks like it'll be pretty good because they did a really good job with Maleficent the first time.
Yeah.
So go into it expecting that it's going to be almost as good as that.
I hope so.
I'm hoping that it's going to be better because it looks like they put more detail into it.
Yeah. That first movie cost quite a pretty penny last I checked. It was somewhere around $200 million. So they somehow pumped in even more money into this one.
So it's got to be somewhat decent.
Hopefully. Those Transformers movie cost, hundreds of millions of dollars. And
if any of you haven't seen Bumblebee yet, do it. It's a really good one.
I still need to see that one.
Good. We know what we're watching next.
And then we got that one for that alligator movie, Crawl. It's about a big flood that hits a town, and this girl's trying to rescue her father.
This dinosaur crocodile.
No, I think it's an alligator. Is it a crocodile or an alligator?
Looks like a crocodile to me.
Okay. Just comes in and just starts eating everybody. It looks fun. It looks straightforward. Just there's a big ass croc trying to eat people.
Yeah, but if you want to see that, go to Swamp People. But this time, it's real. It's real, and it's the people getting the alligators. and almost shooting themselves in the process.
And what was the other trailer we got? Because we got most of them. I know that there was one more we're missing.
Let's see. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I think that might have been it.
I swear there was one more we got, but I can't seem to... fuck it. Probably didn't matter much. But anyway...
If it didn't stick in our brains, that means it wasn't worth remembering.
Yeah, probably. But Midsommar. I don't know how long...
Twisted, but good.
Definitely. I don't know how long this is going to be in theaters for, because it's kind of doing a bit iffy at the box office. It didn't even open up at the top 5 this on opening weekends. It made something like $10 million and opened at number 6. The budget was around that. It was $10 million, so at least that's covered.
So at least they got their money back.
Yeah. So I don't know how long this will be in theaters, but if you can catch it,
But if you're someone that loves a true horror story,
or even just, like if you're getting over a bad breakup and need some catharsis,
this is a good one.
Yeah, it's long. It's out there. It's probably not for all tastes, but if you go in with an open mind, you'll get something out of it. At the very least, you'll get something that just kind of makes you think, whoa, I haven't seen something like that in a while.
And it will really make you think about their cultural rituals.
Yeah.
And how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
But we gotta get going.
All right.
Because we've got stuff to do.
Yep.
So, see you around.